So I initially wasn't going to make this video this soon, but since for the most part, normally version 3 of the beta changes typically change the characters quite a bit, and quite frankly I don't think they really did a whole lot to Robin or Aventurine. And so you know what, we're going to make this video on who's actually going to be worthwhile to summon for between both of these brand new characters coming out in the next patch. So quick TLDR for the changes. We can see here for Robin Sombrero, attacks from allies buffed by her ultimate now generate 2 extra vibes instead of 1. The E1 effect can now be triggered with any ability rather than just the skill, which I think is pretty good. E6 changed to being able to overcap Robin's ultimate and getting 140 energy when entering Fever or Fever's cooldown taking action. Aventurine, his ultimate cost reduced from 140 to 130. I think that is a huge bonus. The ult speed buff went from 25% for 3 turns to 30% for 4 turns, which I think that is absolutely phenomenal for him, given that he is a unit who wants to be as fast as possible. And the elation skill bounce hit MV, that's just the action value, has increased from 15% to 18%. I think that is another bonus. And the elation skill is now considered follow-up attack when Aventurine is the sole elation character that is exceptionally good on a follow-up attack husbando team, which a lot of people were really hoping he was going to be. He was kind of pseudo that, but now this clarifies that he is able to be run on a follow-up attack team, especially using the elation skill being the only elation character. We can also see that E2 additionally fervor from elation skill went from 2 to 4. That's a good buff. And E6 now triggers after 2 elation skills instead of ultimates. Pretty good. So between these two characters, right, who is the best? Well, something that I actually just found out, which I don't know if a lot of people know, is that when we scroll down here, we can also see the recommended teams in game build guide. I'm sure this was already here, I just found this out, just, you know. So we have 1 team right here with Aventurine. Okay, that's nice. 2 teams right here with Aventurine, and then 3 teams right there with Aventurine. Now if we go to Robin Sombrero, we can again scroll down, we can see, keep going right here, recommended teams 1, 2, 3, same amount of teams, right? Well, the thing that I want to talk about is kind of important. Aventurine is going to be a DPS style character. You could run him on elation teams, you can also run him on follow-up attack teams, and in single target DPS categories, he is arguably the highest DPS character in the game, or in very much contention with that. On the flip side though, Robin, we scroll back up to her actual abilities, where's the one, this is the one I want to talk about the most, is her trace, the deviated chord. When an ally target uses Robin Sombrero or causes her to gain vibes, if their attack is higher than Robin Sombrero's, increases that target's attack by an equal amount of Robin Sombrero's max HP. Otherwise, increases that target's crit damage by 40% plus vibes times 1%, lasting for 2 turns. So unfortunately they did take out the fact that it is going to be ignoring enemies defense, which I'm actually kind of upset about that, truthfully. But we can see right here, when the zone is up, when ally targets deal damage, they ignore a portion of the enemy target's defense. Okay, what we don't know now what that is going to be. I'm sure that is going to be added in, but Robin, truthfully, between both characters, I still think is the more valuable character. Being able to increase somebody's attack is very pivotal for certain characters, and with conjunction to how her talent works is that you're able to ignore part of the enemy's defense when you have the zone active. I think is extremely valuable. It's very easy to get said zone up. We can see right here that it's after she has all of the songbirds up. you enter the fever state and you deploy the zone. And like I said, within that zone, you are going to be ignoring the enemy's defense. We still don't know the exact number currently at the time of this recording. I'm sure that will change. But if we look at just Star Rail in general, right, and we look at characters, what characters have the longest lasting effects? Is it going to be a DPS character, or is it going to be a sustained supporting character? If we go back in time, right, and jump down like right here to 5-star characters, we can see we have a bunch of DPS / supporting characters and just healing characters in general. Bronya is still very good in this day and age. Clara isn't. What is the difference between both of these characters? Bronya is a supporting character who provides a lot, or provides buffs and just advanced action forward, very valuable. Clara is a follow-up attack DPS character who wants to get hit. That's not necessarily as viable, and her damage multipliers have dropped off until she gets a buff, right? But Bronya not receiving a buff is still extremely good. And obviously, you know, the GOAT, Huahua, which I will make a separate video about her, is arguably the best character now in the game, like not even close. So with that mindset, right, and I've talked about how being on teams is extremely important and viable. Aventurine being able to fit on a Elation team as a main DPS character, or even on a follow-up attack team being the sub DPS / main DPS, it's kind of wonky with him and Asheville, to be completely honest. Is good, is nice. You know, having multiple team options for a character you like is extremely good. There's nothing wrong with that. But when it comes to team options, Robin can fit on most great teams. She could fit on a Himiko team. Heck, she could fit on a Gilgamesh team. She could fit on a Finon team. She could fit on a Silverwolf level 9's team if you want to go sustainless to ignore enemies' defense, increase her crit damage. Just the possibilities are endless with Robin, and I do think that, and heck, she can even fit on like the Remembrance team, which when she comes out I will be making videos about who exactly she replaces. But for the most part, in terms of bang for your buck, which character is going to last longer and provide more worth to my account, it is Robin over Aventurine. I'm not saying Aventurine is terrible. He is a great DPS character, but for the overall value you get in a character, Robin is a better character long term, especially with this HP inflation stuff that we constantly go through. Robin just provides more for a team, thus making her extremely more valuable for an individual account. It has no merit, or not merit, it doesn't matter if you're a new player, a mid-game player, or an end-game player. Get Robin. She is the character you want to focus and prioritize next patch.